Welcome back, friends and scoundrels. I'm Bran,
And I'm Lynn.
across the table from me, and we're starting our podcast about board games.
If that's what this is.
It is. We'll do an audio version, so if you'd rather listen while you're doing whatever various activities you do,
And not look at his ugly mug.
and not look at my ugly face. But then you won't get to see the board games if that's a thing that happens too. So,
Could be. It might not. Depends on how I'm feeling.
right. So, anyways, this is going to be our monthly wrap up for the month of July, where we talk about new games that we got and games that we played and stuff we got to try out. Not necessarily in that order. Moving right along. So, new stuff. We picked up the original Call to Adventure to go along with Epic Origins.
Yeah. So Call to Adventure, co-op deck building game.
You're simultaneously building a character while fighting bad guys.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Character building and storytelling. We play it a lot more for the storytelling than the actual game aspect of it. We get really quite into the story.
Or at least we try to.
Yeah.
Just like any other D&D session, it goes south quick and becomes funny.
Well, it can get frustrating when a bunch of cards come out that don't fit the character you're building.
Just push you to be creative.
I suppose so. Or spend all your gems to journey. But we got the original Call to Adventure, which just adds more cards, essentially. They're pretty similar play-wise. It just created more variety because we've played a lot of Epic Origins and seen a lot of it.
Late back to that?
Yes, we late back to that one. Yeah, we late back to that one.
And it's a fun game. It's a good companion for your role-playing games of whatever sort. I haven't messed with these cards myself yet. You have a little bit.
I have, yes.
And just now while recording this, obviously, because you got to finish the whole month.
And we got a little delay because the kids came back from vacation, so.
And kind of late change of plans in what we were doing. I had some thoughts, but they just kind of went away.
I know, I saw them leak out your ears.
I felt them leak out my ears. All right, I guess we'll move on.
Yeah, that's really all we've got to say about Call to Adventure, because we've had it since we late backed it. We just added more to it, but it is one of our new for the month of July. Moving on.
Moving right along. All those good times and bad times. That's short enough that we won't get struck, right?
Yeah.
Tiny Towns, we also picked up this month. Where did we get that from?
We got that on Miniature Market with their double your points sale.
Oh, yeah, it was the 4X points sale. So it was a sale where they took your points that you have and 4X them, which ended up giving us $70 worth of points. So bought $100 worth of games for $30. Not going to turn down a good deal.
And Tiny Towns has been on our wish list for
couple months, not too long.
No, it's a little while. It's one that I've moved around through our lists. It's never actually fallen off, but it's moved around in want order. But it's a pattern building game, essentially. You just place cubes in a grid.
Placing cubes, what are those called? Polyomino style patterns?
Yeah.
Kind of like Isle of Cats, but you have to build it individually. And when you get a certain set of them, it makes a building somehow. And then that only takes up one space. That way you can keep building your town out and providing for it. Building points.
Yeah. Well, this was one that I put on the list because it's got an easy solo mechanic. And I enjoy solo games. It is, however, not one I'm very good at.
Spatial awareness.
Yeah.
Is a key.
And I don't puzzle that out very well. It doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. I still enjoy it a lot. But it might be one I enjoy more solo because it's less frustrating for me to see how badly I'm losing because I am used to winning.
Not comparing yourself to anybody else
Yes.
directly. Look at my town.
Is that an awful thing that I'm used to winning?
I mean, you are, especially with me. Although, the more I've been playing lately...
You are actually starting to give me competition.
At least in my first plays, it's getting better. We'll talk about that a little bit later with one of the other games. One of the games that we've played. But I've only played it the 1 or 2 times, so it needs a little bit more attention, but it's right up my alley of things that I like, because I really like Isle of Cats.
You like the spatial puzzles, which is why I moved it back up the list, because I figured you would like it too.
And it does it a slightly different way. So.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy it. Just because I'm bad at it doesn't mean I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
it kind of actually might add to the enjoyment because we do enjoy a lot of hard games.
We do. We like hard games. Next on the list that we got, also in the same deal as Kingdomino Origins, which I like it. It's essentially dominoes, but with pictures instead of pips. And there are other added elements that make it a little bit more interesting.
And we got Kingdomino Origins because it's got the 3 different modes of play. We've only played the 1 so far, so we don't know about the other 2. But it adds to it, which creates variability, which is one of the reasons we chose it versus regular Kingdomino.
I guess you picked it out. I didn't even know about it. You're like, watch this video. But it's tile placement. It's in a 5x5 grid. So however you can make that work. So it's another spatial puzzle.
Which I have never been able to make work. I leave gaps every time.
And basic domino rules, you gotta match things up. It's fun. Is there an actual traditional domino style version of it?
I don't know, because
official or otherwise.
I don't know traditional dominoes, so I cannot answer that question.
Thought you did. Anyways.
Nope. Parks.
Yeah, I guess we'll move on. I'll make that point later.
So Parks is the game that has been on our want list the longest.
Sure.
It has. It's been on there for a long time. You just don't know it because you don't pay attention.
Nope, I only pay attention to my stuff.
But it was the solo board game of the month on Board Game Garden, and I used that as an excuse to insist that we needed to get it.
I hope that we had a little bit of extra money and it was on sale.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got that Target, right?
Yep, I got that in the Target sale.
Mm-hmm.
So we finally picked it up. Thanks, Board Game Garden, for giving us the excuse to do it.
Giving you the excuse. I'm gonna split hairs.
So it's a lightweight, a light worker placement track movement. You're just hiking through the national parks, taking pictures and gathering resources. It's a fun little experience game. We just got the base game, none of the expansions. But I like it. I like the solo mode. I like both solo modes, the official one and the Ranger Ron fan-made one.
Mm-hmm.
They both do something different, so I like that it adds a variety to the solo play.
That is kind of nice, especially with solo becoming a better recognized element of gaming.
Yeah. So I do like both solo modes kind of equally. I think Ron's a little easier to run, but the official solo mode adds just something different to it in the AI gaining resources to causing this effect to happen that affects the game. And I thought that was interesting and I liked it. It's really good at encompassing the theme, I think.
It is, because essentially you're trying to visit as many parks as you can throughout the year, which there are a number of people that do that. There's a gentleman whose whole family does this that was on Art of Manliness podcast, talking about his most recent book, which gives you ideas how to make the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of reminded me of that, and the fact that we got this game at around the same time that that episode came out was kind of interesting. So put that in my mind.
I don't think this is an overly deep or complicated game, which I think is good for us because we do play a lot of hard games. We do like our hard games. But this is just a more relaxing one.
Yeah.
Which I think helps catch the theme of just walking through the parks.
Going through the park and enjoying the environment, being in nature and present there.
The goal cards, the year cards, they are in the base game. I understand that they're better in the Nightfall one, but they're a little.
There's quite a bit of challenge to them because it's a lot of them get like 6 parks with sun or something like that, and some of the parks that line up with some of those are particularly difficult to get because they require so many resources.
Yes. And gaining so many of them, especially if you don't get that tile to purchase extra parks on until the last round.
Yeah.
And you don't get enough parks of those that even come out.
Was that our official playthrough? Our life playthrough?
I think so.
Where I was trying to just do my goal?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even take advantage of the extra parks thing the whole time. I mean, it didn't come out until later, but anyways, just a quick aside with this one, because we had Have Trails. It's going to get donated, or did you take it already?
I haven't taken it yet.
So we're going to donate it to the library for Board Game Club. But I think a nice mashup between the two would be like having a park that you're in and having certain sites from that park to visit. So you still got the same like back and forth trail for trails, but then you actually have to like visit sites and do some sightseeing and enjoy the park, and then it can gives them a little bit more opportunity maybe to visit some of the aspects of the park, factoids and stuff. And then our last game was the Wizard of Oz Storybook Adventure,
which we also got in the Target sale.
Yes.
So this is a co-op storybook adventure game based on the Wizard of Oz movie. It's the second one in the series from Ravensburger, the first one being The Princess Bride, which we really enjoy. And then the Lord of the Rings one came out, which we were definitely going to get because we're big Lord of the Rings fans too.
And completionists to a degree.
And you can't have 1 and 3 and not have Oz in the middle, so we picked up Oz.
Oh, and I don't have anything against the Wizard of Oz necessarily.
I am mostly indifferent to the Wizard of Oz.
The book is better in a lot of ways. It's also a lot more weird.
I mean, I haven't watched the movie since I was a kid.
And then when we played the game.
And then while we played the game, yes. I don't really care one way or the other about the Wizard of Oz. But I enjoy these. I enjoy the adventure book games.
Yeah, they're another one that's nice and easy and just really fun to get out every now and again to give yourself a break, but still partake in the hobby.
Like the Princess Bride one, I think captures the theme and feel of the movie really well. And I'm not sure the Wizard of Oz does it quite as well.
I don't know how I feel on that, because we did start watching the movie halfway through playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And once we started watching the movie, it kind of changed my perspective on that a little bit, because it had been a while, and I also have the book.
Yeah, I've not read the
book. More
book.
Recently. There are definitely things in this game I think could have been done quite a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Although some of those things, it would be difficult to do them and keep the cost down too. So there's that struggle. But I mean, it's not a bad game.
Yeah, it's not a bad game. I just didn't enjoy it as much as The Princess Bride, but that's probably just because
it's The Wizard of Oz and not being as into it. It just, as a storybook game, not quite as good. Not bad. Not great. It's just good.
It's just good. So that's all the new games we got this month.
So once a month, one of our local libraries
hosts a board game club.
Yes. And there's a few of us that make it. I didn't get to make it this time because we were fostering a dog and somebody had to be around a babysitter.
I got to go, though.
So this section, we're talking about the games that got played at Board Game Club. Because with some of the other people, they're pretty deep into the hobby too.
Yes.
So they bring different games and we bring different games and we get to try out each other's games.
It's a great way to play a bunch of games without having to have necessarily all the money to buy it. All the games. We've gotten to play a lot of games that we couldn't afford or maybe weren't for us that we'd want to own but enjoy playing.
Like Clink. Which one was that?
Catacombs.
Catacombs. It wasn't a bad game. I enjoyed playing it, but I don't think it's worth owning for us. And Heat was okay.
That's why we're really love our board game club.
On the tails of Dice Tower Rewards. Heat was okay.
Heat was okay. So this month at Board Game Club, I brought Earth. As it was requested, I bring it.
Mm-hmm.
Earth, I feel like most people know Earth. Strategic engine builder, you're just making and cultivating your island. There's a lot of stuff going on in Earth. It's one, because there is so much, I feel like I struggle to teach. I mean, it's easy once you understand it, but for some reason, I struggle to teach it. But
probably just because there's so many different moving parts.
Yeah, that I'm trying to remember. And, it doesn't help with my anxiety of being around people.
True.
But I got the point across. We enjoyed it. The people I played with said I must have done it right because they get why Earth is such a big deal, why everyone loves it.
It's one of those ones that feels overwhelming to explain it, but also once you start playing, it just kind of falls into place.
Yeah, once you start playing it, because that's one of the things. It's easier to explain as you play it, so you can actually see the stuff happening. But once you get it, it just goes. And I love the engine building in this, and I love that it's simultaneous. That there's actions that you can do on other people's turns.
Yeah.
So things are always happening, and that there are just so many ways to get points.
That would probably help playing Catacombs. If there was something to do while other, like, actions that let you do things while other players are doing something, so that way.
And I also like Earth because it's a high scoring game.
Yeah.
Like, you always get, like, a
big
high
numbers
score.
do give you a dopamine rush.
So even if you lose, you're losing with a big number, so it still feels good.
You got 500. I got 300. Cool!
So one of the games that was brought by someone else was Quest for El Dorado, which has been on and off our wish list. So I actually got to play it. And I enjoyed it. It's a racing deck builder trying to reach the lost city of El Dorado, and you've got two meeples, and you've got to balance out moving both of them because they both have to get there at the end to win. And I enjoyed it, but I don't think, and I'm glad I got to play it because I did enjoy it, but I don't think it's necessarily a game for us that we would own.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that we'd play but not own.
I don't know, because I'd say Heat was okay. I actually wouldn't mind owning it. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Heat was not the game for me.
No.
I did not enjoy it. But one of the reasons I really like Quest for El Dorado, which is the game we're talking about, not Heat.
I know, I'm just... It's a racing game, so...
Yeah.
Which is why I brought it up, because as a racing game, I don't know how I feel, because I think that's the only thing I've really played that's a racer.
See, I think you would like Quest for El Dorado too, but I don't think it's necessarily something that would be a game we would play a lot of, so it would not be something that we would own. But I did enjoy playing it. I especially like it because I really enjoyed deck building when we first got into the hobby, but I've gone off it with the more games we've played. I've learned that I enjoy other mechanics more.
That are similar.
Not even similar. I really love engine building and like tableaus and everything and worker placements. I've gotten much more Euro.
Well, when you consider what you're doing with the deck builder and tableaus and everything, there's a lot of similarities there. It just
There is, but I've kind of gone off deck builders, but Quest for El Dorado felt fresh and like it added something to it. So it wasn't so I did enjoy it because with the deck builders that I used to enjoy, I've gone off them and I don't enjoy them, and deck building has kind of become a turn off phrase for me.
Yeah.
Because of how much I've gone off them. Another game that was brought was Century Spice Road, which has open drafting Dutch auction where you're just harvesting and trading spices to try and fulfill demands. I was neither here nor there on this one.
Sorry, I'm just trying to just not be sitting here while you're doing all the talking.
Yeah.
It'll be better next month, theoretically.
Theoretically. You could have played this one on BGA with me. They've got it. But I'm neither here nor there on this one. It was fun, but I think it was fun because of the people I was playing with making it fun, because I enjoy our gaming group at Board Game Club.
There's a pretty good camaraderie and chemistry with.
So I enjoyed the fun we had playing the game more than the actual game itself, but we made the game fun. The same goes for Ink and Gold, which is another one. It's a push your luck, moving through the temple. We laughed a lot while playing it. I lost horribly. Like, spectacularly. I don't think I got maybe 5 gems. But it was still a lot of fun because we had fun playing it. We made it fun. And again, it's I don't even think it's a game that I would play again. But it was fun to play while they had it.
But if you enjoy playing it with people, does that make it worth playing again?
Yes, I would play it probably with the same people. Again, it's not something I would play with different people.
Yeah.
Because it was the experience with the group that I enjoyed rather than the game itself.
Yeah. So, another game I can finally come in here now that wasn't Board Game Club, but not a game that we own that we got an opportunity to play. Because my mom is into board games as well. I don't know why I found it such a shock at first, because we used to play board games all the time as a kid, but like the classic stuff.
Right? I'm surprised my mother has gone off of board games given how much we used to play. Now all we can play is The Crew.
Which isn't a bad thing.
This is true, but she refuses to learn new games.
But anyways, the game that we're trying to talk about is Floriferous. Such a fun word. It's fun to spell. It was a nightmare.
Is it like necessary?
No, first.
So Floriferous is open drafting set collection where you are walking through a garden picking flowers. Yeah. It's kind of got a similarness to like Point Salad, where you either pick a card or you pick a scoring card. Mm-hmm. And the art is just really pretty.
It is. Nice, simple, almost abstract, but you know what it is.
Yeah, I like that there's not a lot of iconography or words on the cards. It's mostly, for the most part, just the image.
And even the stuff that is included is fairly subtle. Mm-hmm. Like almost a little too subtle.
Yes, there were 2 of the flowers I had a hard time telling apart. Which actually screwed me up a couple of times for the goal cards for the goal cards, because I thought I was getting the right ones, but I wasn't, because they were the wrong flower.
This one, my favorite thing from it was the first player action, which is something that it shares with King Domino that I forgot to talk about with that one, so I pushed it down. But it's got the version of King Domino that we played has a similar thing, which whoever is at the top space in the line, in the column, they get to go first. So it kind of shifts and moves around, and it's an interesting thing that is just a little bit different.
It adds a strategy to your choice, too, because you have to look a little further ahead. Like, do I want to be able to pick first for the round after this one?
Yeah, do I give up something in this one so that way I can make sure I'm first and get the card that I want, or do I get what I want now and hope that I can get what I want later? So that's the reason why that fell under board game clubs, because it's just we don't own it.
Yeah, we don't own it.
Now, what we've been playing?
So what we've been playing, not new to us, not played at Board Game Club, just play.
Mostly, this is stuff that we actually own.
Yeah.
Or have more direct access to.
That we've been playing this month. So, BGG, we're going to talk about a few BGG games too, because I think they
BGA.
BGA, sorry.
Board Game Arena.
Board Game Arena. Next Station, London, which is a flip and write where you're just optimizing connections and building routes. This is just a quick, simple game that I've just been playing every morning while I have my tea to help wake my brain up. And is now moving its way up toward my number one played game because I play it every day.
There's another one that you played every day for a while too. I forget what it was. That was a while ago though.
Well, I played lots of Parks this month because it was the game of the month.
And you like it?
I do like it.
You'll probably play it a lot this month, despite it not being the game of the month.
True.
Is that all you got for that?
That's all I've got for that.
Righto. Robinson Crusoe.
Yes, finally made the time.
That one.
Can't see it.
Boo.
Finally made the time to teach you Robinson Crusoe.
Made. Found.
So this is a co-op survival game with worker placement. You're going out, gathering resources, completing tasks, dealing with different things, trying to survive or deal with various scenarios and the problems that come up. This is one of the hard games we enjoy. We like the struggle and the puzzle of trying to actually get through it.
Yeah, there's a lot in common this with Paleo. That's about all I can compare it to at the moment. So helpful.
But I forget, did we win? Barely. We won in the last round. We were doing the cannibals.
You lost the first one white-handedly.
Oh yeah, we lost like right off.
Like what, third round?
I don't think we even made it to the third round. We lost
barely. I think it was just quickly. Barely into the third round. And then
we won the second time. But it's a struggle, but I really like trying to work out and trying to balance, what things you sacrifice, because sacrifices do have to be made. You can't do everything.
No. And, prioritizing necessity and
which I think captures the theme of this game so well. Because when you are surviving on the island, dealing with cannibals, which was the scenario we were playing, you have to prioritize things. You have to make choices.
Wrong stuff. We didn't get to play Bigfoot. Or whatever it was that we were supposed to play.
I'm sorry. I didn't get out the expansion.
It's fine. It was good enough.
You liked it anyway. Don't pretend.
I did.
So, back over to another BGA game. I played Patchwork for the first time. I just wanted to see what it was about because lots of people recommended. I've seen it recommended lots of places recently. And I enjoyed it. You're just placing polyominoes in a grid to make a quilt. But honestly, as far as polyominoes go, I prefer Isle of Cats or New York Zoo.
Tiny Towns. I'm going to call it because it is weird shapes.
They are kind of polyomino shaped, yes. So it was just okay for me. I won't be playing it again, and it will not go on our wish list.
And Calico builds a quilt better.
Calico does build a quilt better.
I don't know. I didn't play Patchwork, but
that's a valid point. It's true. It builds a quilt better. The colors are better, and it's got cats.
Cats make everything better.
Cats do make everything better.
All right. Glow, which I had to refresh on a little bit because I hadn't played it since we did the Learn to Play, which was like a year ago.
I actually hadn't played it in a while either. While it does have a solo mode, I don't really care for the solo mode, so I don't really play it solo. It's one of the ones that I not just prefer to play with other people, I will only play it that way. I won't play Glow solo.
Is it an official solo mode or is it?
Not sure.
Official.
I had to print
like
it.
It's supposed to be.
I had to print it. I just don't know if it was the creators that made it or not. I'm not really sure.
So with that, is it the other mode or is it the archipelago? Archipelago.
The solo mode is for both.
Okay.
I don't really care for it that much. I mean, it's easy to run, but I don't get the same enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
So, Glow. It's an open drafting, dice rolling, push your luck game.
Yep.
Which is weird. I don't normally like push your luck games, but I do enjoy Glow.
And Battle Yahtzee.
And Battle Yahtzee, I suppose, yeah.
I like Glow. I think I prefer the other mode. I don't remember what it's called.
The Land of Shadows or something.
I think I prefer that because you're doing a lot more as the game progresses with your points, rather than maybe doing a little bit and then all of your points at once. There's just a little bit more going on throughout the game rather than just pushing boats to islands. It was fine.
I like both modes. I think they just make it a little bit different, just the movement, because you're actually spending your dice to move in the other one. So I think it gives it a good variety for the two different modes. They don't feel too samey.
Paint the Roses is the next one, I believe.
Paint the Roses played this on BGA as well with Sarah while she was out of town on vacation. It's a limited communication cooperative tile placement deduction game. You're laying out tiles that represent bushes, trying to help the other player guess your card and hopefully also help narrow down to guess theirs as well. It's like the logic puzzles.
Sure.
There's this kind of logic puzzle that I really enjoy. And it's like that. I don't know what.
It's not like the cat games, is it? The only thing that comes to mind.
Similar, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the similar kind of logic puzzle to that. You'd enjoy it. That's why I tried to get you to play with us.
I thought I had recommended it at one point, and you were like, no, originally. That's why I was shocked that...
I was no originally, because I think I prefer it digitally, because it does the tracking for you. Oh. So it speeds up the play a little bit, so you don't have to sit there and think it out, because you're already thinking enough as it is. Like, it puts little check marks in the boxes for things that it could be, and it eliminates things for you. So it speeds it up a little bit.
It also helps to eliminate error.
And eliminate error.
Clue.
Yes.
Clue's a good example.
Yes. Also like Clue. Like, it's a pretty game. I'd play it physically, just probably not as often. Like, if we had a physical copy, I'd probably still play it on BGA. So I can't make mistakes, and I'm not second-guessing myself on mistakes, because I'm already second-guessing myself on my choices.
Yeah.
I only need to second-guess myself so much. Another game I played with Sarah while she was gone on BGA is Sushi Go Party. It's a closed drafting set collection. Simultaneous action, you just take a card trying to make sets of sushi. We have regular Sushi Go. Mm-hmm. And I prefer Sushi Go Party more. That's why I have added it to our wish list to replace Sushi Go.
Why?
Because it changes up the different cards you're playing with and the different things you're trying to score. Sushi Go just has the same things every time.
Yeah.
But Sushi Go Party, sometimes things will come out like, you won't have maki rolls this time, you'll have like edamame. And they score differently and they play differently, so it adds more variety to it. And I already really like Sushi Go as it is.
Yeah.
I do. I play it a lot. But having that variety, I really like that. And I like some of the ways some of the things score in Sushi Go Party. So I do want to replace our regular Sushi Go with Sushi Go Party.
Fair enough. Next on the list is Creature Comforts. This is another one that I needed to learn how to play. And this is the one that I realized how much playing games more regularly is helping me. Mm-hmm. Because I picked it up pretty easy and I was able to develop a strategy for it a lot earlier on. and I forgot to make certain moves and completely screwed myself. It was bad. It was like it was the difference between me winning the game and not on a single move, I think.
Yeah, it was close.
And I would have gotten like, what was that card? Like 10 points per thing, and I had like 3 things.
Yeah.
Like I would, it was not just a little win either. Like it was a big mistake. And then after that, I made another mistake. I don't even remember which one that one was because I was so upset about the first mistake.
So Creature Comforts is a dice rolling set collection worker placement. You have these little woodling characters, and they're just going out and collecting resources to make things to make their den more comfortable before winter sets in.
Mm-hmm.
So you send out workers, but you use the dice to actually do them. So it's a little bit of push your luck because you send your workers out before you know what all the dice are going to be. So you're kind of hoping for dice, and you could end up not being able to do something you put your worker out to do.
Oh, you have to choose your trade-offs for what you're getting. Do I have just enough of this resource to make it work, or...
And it's just so cute.
It is. I really like it. It's not at all what I expected. Actually, this might bump up to one of my favorite games.
I really like it too. It's one of my favorite games. The way we play it is a little different. Like playing it with you, where it's actually competitive.
I wasn't really worried about what you were doing.
But when Sarah and I play, we play it in a more relaxed manner. Like, we won't even actively, if I know she's going for a certain thing, even if I kind of want it for the points, I won't go for it because we kind of theme it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, she'll choose early on that she's just doing, like, food for her den, and that will be her goal. And I won't go out of my way to mess that up, and I will even choose not to take things from it.
So it fits into what we're trying to do with the ideas we're trying to get behind more with the solos together. Mm-hmm. That you don't have to compete against other people and screw them over to accomplish your goals.
Yeah, it's one of the games where we don't, like, because for Call to Adventure, we don't always even tally up scores at the end because we just enjoy playing it. Beating the bad guy, it's a win for both of us. Scores don't matter.
Which, I mean, it's supposed to be a co-op, so why even have scores?
So you have the ultimate hero.
That's dumb.
But we sometimes when we play Creature Comforts, we do it the same way. We don't even tally up scores. We just we decide if we've won based on if we were able to actually fulfill our own personal, that we make for ourselves, den goals. Like early on, I made the den goal that I wanted to, make all the quilts and fuzzy socks and all the stuff. And if I was able to do that, I achieved the personal den goal I made for myself. So I won. No score necessary.
Right.
It's just a way we play sometimes when we're not feeling overly competitive. So finally, last game we played this month is Friday, which is a solo-only deck building game. Hand management, push your luck. You're trying to make the best deck you can as Friday, trying to help Robinson on the island, and you're trying to combat hazards and try and survive. I have played this game 12 times now, and I have lost this game 12 times now.
Is this your final girl?
It might be. I've gotten so close several times, and it drives me to play it just like again. Like I get so close that I'll just shuffle up and I'll just play again right away. I enjoy it a lot, even though I have never won. Even if I end up never winning, I enjoy playing it anyway.
It's a good challenge and a good time.
It is.
So it is your final girl.
It is. Although sometimes I question if I'm even playing it right. I reread the rule book several times. I'm playing it right, I'm just bad at it.
It happens sometimes. So, I lied. There's another section. Our favorites.
Oh my goodness, another section.
Ah!
I'll do this real quick. My favorite game I played on Board Game Arena this month was Next Station London. Just because I didn't play a lot of games on Board Game Arena. And this is the one I played the most. And I'm glad I found it because it does give me something to do quickly in the morning. So it's my favorite this month. Favorite physical game? Or just, I guess, for you, favorite game you played in general?
Yeah. Oh, you're not going to finish off your physical?
No, I'm going to give you a chance to talk. I've been doing a lot of talking.
Well, you went on and on about Creature Comforts anyway, so.
I did.
Which was your pick?
Which, now that I'm looking at the notes, I think it looks like it's both our picks.
It is. It was my favorite one that we played this month, outside of some of our other normal play stuff, which I'll talk about in a moment. But I like the theme of it and the purpose of the game. I've come to realize that I like games that really capture concepts of real life and kind of force you to go through that in a way. Well, force isn't necessarily the correct word, but you're going through these actual aspects of life in a game. So, like, going out and collecting these resources and building things and...
So you're discovering you like resource gathering games?
I don't know. It's all about the theme, baby. But it really captures the essence of what it takes to keep life going, and that life is work no matter what anybody tries to tell you. That if somebody else isn't making it, you're going to have to do it yourself.
Like you said, I already went on and on about Creature Comforts, which was also my favorite game this month. So I'm not going to repeat all that again.
Alrighty then. So, last note, we won't usually be talking about Final Girl, just because I do play it quite a bit, and one, it'll get a little boring talking about it every month. Yep, played Final Girl. Next. But going through the scenarios as this franchise, I'd take some time after that's all done to talk about that on its own, so I don't feel a need to talk about it here. Again, it'll get repetitive and boring, and that's not why anybody's here. Although, final note on that, I forgot about this while I was rambling on about it, is if I try new things or different things, I might talk about that, but that would be the only time it would make it in here. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for listening and watching us. My beautiful, glorious Vanna White face. Check out the links down below for other ways to support us. Tell us what games you've been playing and what your favorite for the month of July was out of your own stuff. And I don't know, is there anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Let's roll.
Don't throw trash around.
I don't have anything to roll.